Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you for joining me again today for another card making tutorial. It's Friday and you will have seen, if you follow me on YouTube regularly, that I am doing the Creative Colour Challenges that is run by one of my teammates called Vicky Lou. You find her at Vicky Lou Designs. And this is challenge number 6, I think. It'll be in the title which number it is. I think it's number 6. Crushed curry, blushing bride and crumb cake are the selection that we've got for this week. So what I've done is I've made a completely different style of card than I would do normally. I'm doing one of these sort of slim narrow cards. Now I was at a team retreat a couple of weekends ago. It's probably even longer than that now because the weeks go by so quickly. But I was sharing a table with my other demo friends. So we had Katrina, Linda, and we had Debbie Toner from Debsy Daisy Crafts, and she was making these cute sort of slimline cards. And I've never made one before, so I thought that I might try it for this particular challenge. The card is just made with the what are these actually called? Floral squares dies. So I've used this one here for my particular sample. Going to change it to this one for the one that I'm going to do with you guys. So we're going to take that, and then we've got the sort of layering pieces down here. Just put those to one side so that we can die cut those out. It does coordinate with the all squared away stamp set, so if we did want to add a sentiment, we could do, or replace one of the squares with a sentiment maybe. So this is all squared away. Really cute, isn't it? And really like these backgrounds. It is red rubber, so that's that. So if you buy the two together, you do save 10% on the bundle price. Of course, everything is available in my online store, and you will find links to the products I've used in the description. Just click on that little arrow down there and you will find it. So as is normal, I am going to switch it up in terms of the layers and colours and stuff. Done a bit of the die cutting ahead of time. Sticking with the crumb cake card base though. And I had a little boo-boo with the scoring, so I just mirrored the scoring on the front there, just to even that out. The card here, it's 7 inches long, and then the score line here is at 2 7/8 of an inch, and then obviously I've folded it and then cut it down to make that little card base. I've just had a thought that we could make this one portrait just to mix it up even more. What do you think? I don't know. Could work portrait, couldn't it? It could be like a tall, skinny card rather than a wide, narrow card. Does that make sense? Wide and narrow. Anyway, and then my crushed curry piece is 6 1/4 by 2 1/8. Slightly different measurements were on this one. This was definitely a prototype, and I've just sort of tried to finesse it out a little bit by doing a bit more measuring. So those layers are done. I've already done 2 of the squares just so that I'm just saving some time on the die cutting elements that we're just putting it together basically. And likewise with the little layering parts for those little dies, which I've done in Blushing Bride. So I've got a scrap of white here that's just big enough for my square. Just lay that onto the cutting plate there, and then this little diddy scrap we can use for the remainder of our petals. Of course, with the large plate on the machine, or the large machine, with the is the plate 6 inches? Yeah, it's a 6-inch plate. So there's plenty of room on there for these smaller elements. Just making sure that that square doesn't wander off the edges of that very small scrap of paper. Being super frugal there by using something so tight around the edge. But you know, we have to use these scraps, I should say. So we'll just wind those through, and those will cut out beautifully. There we go. So there's our little, what do you call them, flowers. And then I just lift that off. Very well loved cutting plate. And just press out those. Most of it falls out just very easily with your fingers. You might just have to poke out the actual die cut itself from the die, and then there's just always those last two that just stick there. Okay, let's scrape away all these little bits and pieces, and I'm going to bring in a craft sheet just to help me get all this stuff stuck down. Really great little inexpensive tool. I have several in my drawer next to me, so I can just pull them out when I need them. They make quite a good makeshift stamping pad as well, so if you need a sort of softer, spongier surface, and you can use this as well. So I'm just using a sparing amount of wet glue. It's not going to take much to hold these little teeny tiny pieces down, and if you're sparing with it, it's going to dry nice and quickly as well. So just give those a firm press, just like that, and move on to the next. So take no time at all to dry. It's quite a fast grab glue. So that's really cute. Now, obviously I'm within the confines of the colour challenge, so I'm not adding any green bits to this. I think this would look nice if you cut it in green. So with Blushing Bride, mint macaron would look really nice. It's a combination I use. Mint macaron and Blushing Bride, that is. And then of course you could do the flowers whatever colour you like, can't you? Like I say, I am obviously sticking to the challenge. And I suppose what I could have done as well is done one of the squares in crushed curry and mixed it up that way as well. But you know, like I say, we're just trying to keep it reasonably simple. Now you don't see me often do this, but I'm actually going to, because I've got the wet glue out, I'm just going to put this layer down with my wet glue as well. So just squiggle or two down there. Oh, just slide that into place. I did consider putting a mat of the Blushing Bride behind it, but I wasn't convinced that there'd be enough contrast really, or even a bit of white would have possibly looked quite nice as well. I'm just going to give that a good rub over just to make sure it's down all the way to the edges, and then we're going to stick down our squares. So again, just if you're sparing with your glue, Don't need much on the actual sort of inners, if you like, but just very, very gently around the edges with your glue. And we're going to put our first one down. Use the tip I always say, if you line up the 3 edges and then so that it looks straight first. So just try and leave it's approximately 1/8 of an inch border. And then we're going to do the other end. Oops, just try not to get our fingers into it. So I'm twizzling that round so I can do the other end and get that same nice even border. I think in the biz they call it a common margin, having an equal space all the way around. So now you're thinking, what the heck? So if you do the 2 ends first, you can then position the centre panel so that it's spread out evenly. Okay, if you'd have gone along the card or left to right, right to left, whichever, you run the risk of making that not even at one end, which is fine if you haven't already glued it down, because you could probably trim it down, but I'd already glued it down. I probably shouldn't have done, to be fair. But it's a good way to sort of try and make sure your layers and things and embellies like this are even. Do your end ones and then just make the gap between them even, and then it won't look odd. Hope that made sense. All these things make lots of sense in your own head, so I hope that makes sense to you. So dead easy, nothing super spectacular about that. I did add some pearls onto the centres of the other one. So let's just, yeah, there they are. I thought I'd left them out. There we go. But, you know, even though we haven't got any flower centres, we could just add those here and there in just a little bit of a hodgepodge fashion. Might put that, oh dear, I don't want to go where I want it, does it? So there we go. So, you know, you can skip that bit, obviously, if you want. You don't have to add any pearls or anything to your card, because it's your card and you can do what you want. So there you go. That's the version there, and this is my original version. Okay, of course, lots of scope there to mix and match with the colours and do some different things. There's some different dyes in there as well, so we could layer up different dyes to get different look. Could use a different square, different dye for each of the elements there. Totally up to you, but I hope you like the overall suggestion of making these nice little cards. They're almost like nice little place settings, actually, aren't they? So there you go. Hope you're okay. Stay safe. Check out the links, and also there'll be a link there to Vicky's colour challenge if you fancy having a go at any point. She uploads them weekly, so that's it. Take care, everyone. See you soon. Bye.